Last time, I told you about a man on a street corner, about someone who got thrown into a branch of reality that doesn't exist anymore. I told you it broke him. But there's a second kind of person this happens to, and it doesn't break them. Just the opposite. You've met them. Someone who just always seems to land in the right place at the right time. The job opens up right when they're desperate. A stranger turns out to be the exact connection they were missing. We call it luck, coincidence. But what if it's neither? What if some people learned to do, on purpose, what happened to that man by accident? Stay with me. In a couple of minutes, you'll understand why I started with him. Back in 1912, a man named Charles Haanel starts mailing strange envelopes to his subscribers. One lesson a week, sealed, sent straight. Not a book, a private course for a small circle paid. Inside, he calls it the master key. And that's not just a pretty phrase. He means it literally. A mechanism, a working system that changes which version of your life you actually live. For decades, only a handful of people read it, and then it vanished for almost a century, now crossed to the other side of the world. Another era. A Russian engineer, Vadim Zeland, publishes something that describes almost the exact same mechanism. In completely different words, calls it transurfing. He talks about a space of variance, where every possible version of your life already exists. All of them at once, waiting. He says most people never move through it on purpose. They get pulled by what he calls pendulums. Other people's fear, other people's doubt, the noise of the crowd, and the few who learn not to resist, who stop fighting the current. They start sliding toward the version they actually want. Two men, almost 100 years apart, never read each other, not once, describing the exact same door, and this is where it stops sounding like a fairy tale. In the 90s, neuroscientists described something in your brain. The reticular activating system. Its job is blunt and simple. Your brain can't process everything you see, so it deletes almost all of it. And it only lets into your awareness what you've already flagged as important. Buy a red car, and tomorrow you'll see red cars everywhere. They didn't multiply overnight. Your filter changed. You'd been driving past them your whole life and never saw them. That part. Proven. Your attention decides which slice of reality even reaches you. And here's where the open question begins. The one science doesn't have an answer to yet. If the filter decides what you notice among the things that already exist. What happens when you aim that filter at something that doesn't exist yet? Haanel and Zeland answer the same way. Whatever you're aimed at starts to surface, like those red cars that were there the whole time just outside your field of vision. Science hasn't confirmed this, but it hasn't ruled it out either. It stopped right at the edge of that door, and now, the part they don't put in the pamphlets. There's a price, not money, doubt. The second you catch yourself thinking, is this working? Has it happened yet? Am I doing this right? You've handed control back to the old machine. That same pendulum, you're standing in the doorway, but you don't step through. Haanel called it the price of admission without proof. Zeland said the same thing in his own words. You don't ask reality to agree with you. Act like it already has. Most people drop out right here. At the one moment it actually mattered. Now go back to the man on the corner. One last time. Get closer. Remember, I told you he keeps repeating a name? He's still repeating it. Only now, listen to what he says next. He's talking about a person who stopped doubting one day. and walked through the door. Who got everything this man on the corner wanted and couldn't reach? He tells it to every passerby over and over, like a warning. And only at the very end do you understand he's talking about you, about the version of you that made it through. He's the one who stayed standing. Two people from the same branch. The difference was one thing. In a single second, one of them doubted, and the other didn't. The door was never locked. Almost nobody ever told you it was even there, behind it. Two corridors. One was dug by a man in 1912 in sealed envelopes. The other by that Russian engineer a century later. Two roads to one door, and each has its own rules. Tell me in the comments which corridor to take first. Type K if you want me to break down Haanel's system. Space if you want Zeland's Transurfing. Wherever the most voices call, that's where we go together on the next crossing. Ever felt that pull? A decision that changed everything the second you stopped doubting. Tell me about that too. Let's see how many of us already found the door without knowing what it was called. Subscribe. The next crossing is coming.